Ain't no half step with Marcus J. I told y'all that was going to be fast. We're going to take our final break as we did just a moment ago. Damn it, we already took our final break. What am I doing? Yeah, it was a quickie. Who likes quickies? You like quickies? All right, we like quickies.
You know what?
Ain't no half. Hey, look, it's after 9. We can kind of be grown up here. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We're going to go into our Black History segment where we're going to get into Black first, Black inventors, and Black first. Okay? The first thing I want to get into is George T. Sampson. George T. Sampson. This was a brother who on June 7th, 1892, he used a dryer that was used from heat from a stove to dry clothes and is an example of a ventilator type machine. George T. Sampson was a brother, a black man who invented the clothes dryer, JR. How about that? You know what I mean? So he didn't invent it, but he made perfections to it. Patent, U.S. patent 476412. Brother, inventing the clothes dryer. So basically, your ass would still be in the backyard with them joints and the little nasty
Clothes
little
pin.
clip pins and stuff outside. It might rain overnight and you mad, or somebody might have jacked you for your clothes. But George T. Sampson, he got you. JR, what you got, brother?
All right. First up, we got Benjamin Banneker. Was a self-educated scientist, astronomer, inventor, writer, and anti-slavery publicist. He built a striking clock entirely from wood, published a farmer's almanac, and actively campaigned against slavery. He was one of the first African Americans to gain distinction in science. Benjamin Banneker was educated by Quakers. However, most of his education was self-taught. He quickly revealed to the world his inventive nature, and first achieved a national acclaim for his scientific work in the 1791 survey of the federal territory, which is now Washington, D.C. He also built one of the first watches made in America, a wooden pocket watch. 20 years later, he began making astronomical calculations that enabled him to successfully forecast a 1789 solar eclipse. His estimate was made well in advance of the event, contradicted predictions of better-known mathematicians and astronomers at the time. He is best known for his 6 annual Farmer's Almanacs, published between 1792 and 1797. In his free time, he began compiling the Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia almanacs. The almanacs included information on medicines and medical treatment and listed tides, astronomical information, and eclipses, all calculated by Banneker himself.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. So Benjamin Banneker was a brother who was into science, medicine, and he was the founder, or the first founder. He was the first person to invent the almanac.
There you go.
And so every time you want to go into a book and you want to find a bunch of information culminated in one location, the first person to do it was a brother by the name of Benjamin Banneker. Ain't no half step with Marcus J. That's why. Who you got?
Well, did you know that when the space shuttle Endeavour blasted off on its second mission, it carried the first African-American woman into space? It carried Mae Jemison, and she was more than an astronaut, y'all. She was a physician, a Peace Corps volunteer, a teacher, and founder and president of 2 technology companies. She did excellent in high school and attended Stanford University on a scholarship at the age of 16. She received her bachelor's in science and chemical engineering and a bachelor of arts in African American studies. She went to earn her doctorate in medicine from Cornell University in 1981. And after working as a general practitioner, Jemison served 2.5 years as a volunteer in the Peace Corps. She spent a lot of time in African countries of Sierra Leone and Liberia. And in addition to English, she speaks Russian, Japanese, and Swahili.
Wow.
Although employed as a general practitioner, again, following her return to the United States, Jemison decided to pursue a childhood dream. And after a historic flight to Sally Ride, the first American woman in space, Jemison applied to NASA for their astronaut program, feeling more than opportunities had opened up for her. The explosion of the Challenger shuttle had put a hold on the applicants, but in 1987, she became one of the 15 candidates selected out of more than 2,000 people after years of training, and she became the first female African-American astronaut.
Ain't no half step on Marcus J. is saluting Sister
Heck
Mae Jemison
yes.
as the first sister in
Yep.
outer space.
In outer space.
You think about that, like this is like she left Earth, y'all.
Meet Mae Jemison.
Yeah.
Do.
That's a
Get
little, I don't know.
It went really good.
It did
Space.
inside your brain. It went good.
Whatever, man.
Was there any black people in the Jetsons?
I don't know. Was there any black people in the Justice? That's
No.
why
I don't ever remember. Like,
No.
you would think, like,
the closest one was like the robot chick because she wasn't white.
No, the closest one was Astro because he was gray.
Oh, cause so the dog and the robot.
I won't touch you.
It's the dog and the robot was the black folk.
What was the black caveman in the Flintstones? But I digress.
I don't even
Caveman.
freaking know.
Oh.
Ain't no Jay. Hey, look, before Jay, before we got a sister, Mae Jemison, who was the first sister in
Yep.
outer space. First sister that's an astronaut. She's still doing her thing. She's part of the
still getting
Peace
down.
Corps.
Yep.
She's still doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? So I
Big
want
up.
to salute her. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus JJR. What you got?
We got George Grant, Harvard graduate George Grant. Graduated from Harvard Dental School in 1870. George Grant was recognized internationally for his invention of the oblet palate, a prosthetic device he designed for the treatment of the cleft palate. I think that's really remarkable. That's cool. George Grant also was an avid golfer and was also interested in the physics of golfing. He set about to improve the game of golf, and as a result, he received a patent, U.S. patent number 638,920 on December 12, 1899, for an improved version of the golf tee. So, you know, basically, you can thank this man for improving your golf game. He ain't improved mine any because I still stink.
This brother invented the golf tee. He invented the golf tee. You know what I'm saying? Like the same golf tee that you see when you turn on the Masters
Yep.
and all of them golf. You know, I don't watch golf, but
I do.
okay.
I love it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I don't.
But you know, the crazy part about it is a lot of people like golf. And a brother is the one who invented the golf tee.
Right.
So that's important. It was a wooden one. It was early on. They've made advancements since then. But he made
But
the
that's
first one.
his,
He made
yep.
the first one. Ain't no ass stepping Marcus J. Granville T. Woods. Granville T. Woods was a brother. Despite his high aptitude and valuable education and expertise, was denied opportunities and promotions because of his color of his skin. Out of frustration and desire to promote his abilities, Woods, along with his brother Letus, formed the Woods Railroad Telegraph Company in 1884. The company manufactured and sold telephone, telegraph, and other types of materials in electrical equipment. 1885, Woods patented an apparatus which was a combination of a telephone and a telegraph. The device, which he called telephony, which would include a telegraph station to send voice and telegraph messages over a single wire. The device was so successful that he later sold it to the American Bell Telephone Company. In 1887, Woods developed his most important invention to date, a device he called synchronous multiplex railroad telegraph, a variation of the induction telegraph. It allowed for messages to be sent from moving trains and railroad stations by allowing dispatchers to know the location of each train. It provided for a greater safety and a decrease in railroad accidents. This brother invented a telephone that assisted in railroad trains that kept them from crashing into each other. Granville T. Woods. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. So we, every single week, we get into 5 first and or inventions. The first person that we talked about this week was my brother George T. Sampson. We talked about JR, who do we get?
Benjamin Banneker,
We talked about Mae Jemison.
We talked about
George Grant.
and we talked about Granville T. Woods. These brothers and sister are incremental in inventing things and being the first in things that are essential
In your life.
in your life that we are still using to this day. Every single time you wonder and you worry about your self-worth as a black person in this world, remember your history, remember your lineage, remember where you came from, and remember the fact that people who look like you have done amazing things in this country,
Yep.
which means if they did it, you can do it too. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. I told y'all that we would end the show without no more breaks. So we're going to do our rants and we're going to do our closings. We're going to do it right now and we're not going to wait. JR is up first. And this brother's going to tell us what he feels about whatever the hell he want to tell us about. My brother, what you got, man?
You know, I feel pretty good. Like, I really ain't got no rant other than, you know, when I came in here and I saw Lissa P, I thought I was going to get a patented, ow, like at least once or twice. Like, I ain't get one. Like, we done shouted your name out. Can I get one? Can I give my rant to you? Just get one. Let me get one.
Listen,
Thank
P
you.
gave us
See?
an hour. Ow!
I feel a lot better now. I feel a lot better now.
Right?
Life has returned to normal.
It's a
I feel
trademark, brother.
much better.
It's a trademark.
That's it.
There you go.
I'm going to pass it on. I'm good.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. It's time for my sister SY.
I'm good. I don't have much.
Sorry. I acted up. I wilded out. I'm
Yo.
sorry.
What was that?
I do that
Y'all,
sometimes.
I cannot wait
Shit.
for this joint to be videoed so y'all can see what I deal with every friggin' Monday.
Nobody care about your feelings.
I know you see what I mean. And if you're seeing this little turn up lip, I tell you. But anyway, look, he's throwing pens now, y'all. He's throwing pens.
But JR held me down by handing it to me. If I was waiting on you, I'd be
He tried
going
to hit
across the
me.
table.
But you know, again, like
Lady.
every Monday, whatever, man. Thanks for listening. And I want everybody really to just try the 2 straws in the cup. One in the cup, one out the cup, and tell me if
I
you
think I
get
could do it.
anything out. I want to know. So until you tell me, I'll listen to you, talk to you on Monday.
Ain't no half stepping on Marcus J. I want to go ahead and end the show by thanking every single person that listened to us. We had a great show tonight. We talked about the Craigslist killing. We talked about the preacher who acted a damn fool getting bit by snakes. We talked about Westboro Baptist Church protesting, but they got blocked by the students at Missouri College University. We talked about the debate files. We talked about gay people, Michael Dunn, Clarence Thomas. And we talked about Malcolm X. We got a whole lot in. We had technical difficulties tonight, but y'all hung in there with us. My brother said, what up, bruh? We had Joy that was listening to us. We didn't get no
Hey,
Joy, no
Joy.
love tonight, but
Hey,
we love her.
Joy.
What up, Joy?
Joy, yo, 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 yo,
Yo, yo,
yo,
yo. We had Sexy C, SY's mama listening to us, my girl Michelle K. We had folks listening to us in Mechanicsville, Virginia. We had my hometown of Jersey City, New Jersey. We had a missing child in East Orange. We had listeners in Atlanta. We had listeners in Dallas, Indianapolis, Chicago, as well as Phoenix, Arizona. So we appreciate all the love we had. Thank you so much. It's my turn to get into my rant. It's time to get into my closing. I'm going to end the show as I do every single week. And if you just would indulge me for just a moment, I'm going to take a little longer than they did, but I won't take too long, hopefully. My first question I'm going to ask is, are we really done with slavery? We talked a lot about what, Michael Dunn and George Zimmerman and all of that kind of stuff. But I really want to know, are we done? Are we really, really done with slavery? The way that the justice system has worked for us lately in the last, 5, 10, 50, 100 years, the situation that we deal with. And hold on a second, y'all, because I just lost my train of thought. Hold on a second, because I have my situation right here in front of me.
Throwing that pen at me, y'all.
I'm not throwing a pen at you. Hold on a second, because I had it here in front of me. Y'all talk for a second while I pull this back up. Hold on a second.
Let's laugh.
JR, SY.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
So, if Milli Vanilli fell in the woods, would somebody
See,
else
I'm
make a
talking
sound?
about slavery and stuff, and you talking about Milli Vanilli. Here we go. And I'm going back into my database here, and I'm trying to pull up my notes here.
Y'all know what? It's a shame that
And you
Facebook is
talking
out
about
there
Milli Vanilli.
because that's where this comment came from. Y'all just don't know.
I just need
That's
y'all
not fair
to.
to
I
them.
need y'all to ad lib for a
That's
second,
not
fair.
and this fool
You
start
just
talking about
find
Milli
what you got to
Vanilli.
find there, brother Mike.
I don't know where it went, y'all.
man.
So I want you to turn off the phone.
Hey, look, man. It's
Turn
not
it
my
off,
fault.
put it down.
It's not my fault.
Because he done showed
See,
me
I
too
put the
many
phone down.
things with laughing and talking.
Hold on, you
Fell out
talking
of
about
your
hair
chair.
bows made out of old condoms, though.
Yes.
How is Milli Vanilli like, but hair bows made out of condoms?
I can't help it. That's a fact. Well, Milli Vanilli not making it sound is a fact, too.
Yeah, it is.
That's not fair. One of them is no longer.
Really?
Yeah, one of them is dead.
It's like after that CD skip, I ain't seen neither one of them. Like
You weren't listening. Yeah, one of them is gone. I'm not sure if
didn't
it's
know
the
that.
Millie or the Vanilli, but one of them is gone.
All right, y'all. I got it back.
Okay.
I had it here in front of me. For some reason, my computer shut down on me, but I got it back.
Okay.
I was talking to y'all about slavery. And so my question is, are we really done with slavery? It's the question that I want to ask tonight. And first thing I want to ask about is the Constitution. I got a copy of it. JR, do you have a copy of the Constitution? Have you ever read it?
You know, no. I don't have a copy of the Constitution.
You don't have a copy of the Constitution?
No, I do
All right. Well, I got a copy of the Constitution. That's why. Do you have a copy of the Constitution?
No, sir.
You don't have a copy of the Constitution. Well, the 13th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, and I'm quoting directly from it, it says, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been found duly convicted shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. It continues by stating that Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. The 13th Amendment was ratified on December 6, 1865. So let's examine that first part for a second, okay? Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Let me ask the obvious question. How many of us feel like we free in this country? Seriously. We aren't oppressed like they are in other countries. We are free to move around freely from state to state. We can view the internet without retribution. We can have as many kids as we want. But are we really free? Like, seriously, really free? Big Brother's watching. Some of us feel, some kind of way about that. Some of us feel like we can't be safe in our own skin or even in a hoodie. We talked about this briefly a few months ago, and I was challenged on the air. Someone called me out personally when I questioned whether slavery is legal in our country. Right there in the Constitution, it says so, right? It says a law-abiding citizen is fine. They are not subject to any key provisions or anything except a punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted. So now I got to get to the actual point while I'm talking about here. How many people have questioned the amount of people in prison? Yeah, how many people? A lot of people.
A lot of
right?
people.
A lot of people. I know I have. Let's look at the cycle. Low-income person has committed a minor crime. He faces prosecution who charges him with multiple charges. Some related, some not, but the amount of time he's facing is far more than what he deserves. Afraid, he pleads out, he's tagged with a felony, maybe not a felony he's guilty of. Now convicted felon, he's got a hard time getting a job. Disillusioned, desperate, he commits a crime that gets him more jail time than he should get because he's already got a strike or two. Now he's in prison, a private prison that has arrangements with many of the companies we know of, companies that you spend money with every single month, every single day, every single week. He works for pennies while in the prison that makes millions of dollars off him and others like him. Sounds like endangered servitude to me. That's why it doesn't. It sounds like endangered servitude.
Si, senor.
Sounds like endangered servitude to me. But actually, many of the folks are innocent and overcharged. You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like slavery. You question my logic? All right. You question my choice of words? All right. Slavery. Then ask yourself this. How many people in inner cities own airplanes? How many of them can go to a gun store and manufacture and purchase a firearm legally? How many of them do you know traffic illegal drugs or guns on the highest level? Remember, these are convicted felons now. Many of them can't even get a job at your local Wally World, right? So these drugs and guns get on the street somehow. So why don't somebody tell me how they get on the street? Our system It's kind of jacked up. Many think I want to make this a race thing, but it's really not. It's more about class than race. The rich want to get richer, and the only way they can successfully do that is to make the poor poorer. Eliminate the middle class, who could actually challenge them. Why else do you think they spend more money in some areas on prisons than they do on schools? The same prisons where they charge $10 for a 2-minute phone call that is free on the outside will make you work all day for $2 a day. Where's that so-called rehabilitation that they talked about? We know prison is punishment. Ain't nobody disputing that. But shouldn't it at least be fair? I mean, it's a dirty game, and we need to wake up because many of the games they are playing on us are in the rule books that are written before many of us were even allowed to be part of the discussion. Now, I would never, ever absolve the guilty of their guilt. Do the crime, do the time. But you know what? What's fair is fair in a fair way. Many of us contribute to the problem by committing crimes that will get us incarcerated to begin with. But what's fair is fair, like I said a minute ago. So is it not fair for folks to be overcharged just so they can be saddled with some time to fill a private prison to make the owners of those prisons more money? Or would it blow your mind to see the names of the companies that we support be on the boards of some of these prisons? And to make it sting just a little bit harder, some of the record labels of the artists that we support are on those boards. So do you think it's much of a stretch that some of those artists may have sold out just to encourage their followers and fans to indulge in the violent and illegal fairy tales told in their lyrics? Think about that next time you call someone a conspiracy theorist. Read your rule book, also known as the United States Constitution, and you will find many of the answers to your questions. But now we have access to those answers. But what are we going to do about it? So I ask, with our trumped up charges and our broken system and our private prisons, what are we really going to do about slavery? That's the Murr. Marcus's unrelated rant. It ain't got nothing to do with what we're here talking about tonight. It's the end of the show. I want to appreciate everybody that hung in there with us. We had all kinds of technical issues tonight, but our fans, our listeners of Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J, right here on Legacy Internet Radio, y'all hung in there with us as y'all do every single week. I want to remind y'all that independence is key to building your legacy. I also want to remind y'all, I'm sorry. I got distracted by somebody in the background. I'm sorry. I also want to say peace to all stars in the squares. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty, y'all. Thank you so much for listening to us. Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J. Be back next week. Peace.